Parakeh is called Mashal HaKerem. The beginning of it, the full first half that we're going to do, is a mashal, is a parable for a vineyard. Okay? Hashem is talking. He's the guy who owns the field, Ki'u. Okay? And he is complaining that he put so much work into this vineyard and nothing came out. So a vineyard is a special kind of field because it takes much more work than any other planting. To get good grapes, because most of the point of getting grapes is not for the grapes but for wine. So the grapes have to be perfect. Well, if you know there are different kinds of grapes in different kinds of regions, the region has to be, a lot of conditions have to go in to make a good vineyard. And so God is saying, Hashem is saying, I put in so much work on this vineyard, and look what I got. I got nothing. I got things that look like grapes, but they're not even good grapes. Okay? That's the basic idea. And the Nimshal, the guy who owns the field, is Hashem, and the field is Bnei Yisrael. And we're going to see that. And we're going to see where the Navi reveals to us that it's really Hashem's work, what the Nimshal is. So let's start from the beginning. Ashira na liyadidi, I will sing to my close friend. I'm going to sing to my close friend Liyadidi. Shirat dodi likari. So who's the Yadid? The friend is the Kerem, is the vineyard. The friend is the vineyard. Shirat dodi. Dodi means my beloved. Who is my beloved? The vineyard. Kerem hayali yadidi. I'm singing for my Yadid. Yadid is the guy who owns the field. I'm sorry. And the Dodi, the beloved, is the Kerem. Now, Kerem hayali yadidi, he's saying, my friend, Yeshayel Navi is saying, my friend had a Kerem, had a vineyard. Now, who's the friend of Yeshayel Navi? That's Hashem. Okay, he's the owner of the vineyard. Bekeren ben Shemen. That's the name of the area. Keren ben Shemen. I don't see anyone says anything special about that area. So let's go on. Vayazkehu. He got the field prepared in different ways. Vayazkehu, if you look here in the Mitzudot, or if you look at Rashi, Rashi says Vayazkehu. Sorry, a little bit further up. Be'eser chupot ha'amrot, meaning he made a fence. Right here it says siyago vegadro. He made a siag. He made a gader. He made a fence around it. That's vayazkehu. Vayisaklehu, Rashi says, he took out the stones, hotzi avanim, because if there are too many rocks in the field, the soil won't, the grapes won't grow well in the soil. Vayitaehu, sorek, and he planted not just any grape, he planted sorek, which is the finest grape that you can plant. It's the best. Okay? Let's go back to our pasuk. So once again, vayazkeu, vayisakaleu, vayitaeu. Vayitaeu means he planted. The first two are things he did to the field. He put a fence around it to guard it. He took out the stones so it would grow better. Vayiven migdal b'tochal, and he built a tower. Vayiven migdal, right? What is a tower for? To watch, to make sure that birds don't come in and animals don't come in and people don't come in to steal the grapes. So he get everything ready. V'gam yekev chatzavo, and he dug what's called a yekev. A yekev is a special pit in which you crush the grapes to make wine. Okay? You see Rashi. V'gam yekev habor, he says, shalifnei hagat lekabel hayayin. It's a special, right next to the wine press, it's a special place that gets the wine, and the wine, the grape juice at the first, before it's wine, sits there, and it's, I guess, the beginning of the fermentation as well. Okay, now, Pasuk Gimel. I'm sorry, Pasuk Bet in the middle. Vayikav, and he had a hope, take the word tikva. Vayikav la'asot anavim, he hoped to make grapes. Vayas be'ushim but unfortunately, okay. Domim la'anavim, it's similar to grapes, but it's not grapes. Vayikav la'asot anavim, he wanted to make tikva, he had a hope to make grapes, but he only made junky fruit. V'ata yoshev Yerushalayim, v'ish Yehuda. Now he says to the people who are sitting in Yerushalayim, Hashem is saying, you make a judgment. Whose fault is it that it didn't grow? Shiftuna beini uven kami. Yeshayyahu is quoting God, in the mashal, the owner of the field. Whose fault is this? I did everything I could do, and look what it did. The field gave me nothing. Ma la'asot od lekami. What else could I do for my kerem, for my vineyard? V'lo asiti bo, that I didn't already do. Madua kiviti la'asot anavim v'yaz birushim. It says the same thing, but it's in a question form. First it said he hoped, v'yikav la'asot anavim v'yaz birushim. He hoped for it, and then the field gave it. Now God's crying out, Madua, why is it that I hoped for anavim and it only gave me garbage? It gave me garbage fruit. That looks like grapes, but it doesn't taste good. I'm going to tell you. Odia, lahodia is to tell you, to let you know. Et asher ani oseh lekami. You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do in my field? Haser misukato. I'm going to take away the misukah. Rashi says is the fence. Okay? Misukato. Haser misukato. Lahasir gader, Rashi says. I'm going to get rid of the fence. The haya and the kerem will be lebe'er. Be'er is another word for... Be'er here is another word for animal feed. Okay, it's a pasuk in the Torah, actually, that the animals will eat your fruits. If an animal goes in and eats your fruits, then the owner's chayav to pay. It's called be'er b'ste'acher. Be'er is animals eating it. So if I take away the fence, haser mesukato, what's going to happen? Animals are going to eat it. And I really don't care, because it's garbage grapes anyway. Parotz gidro, I'm going to knock down the fence, or going to make a hole, actually. Parotz means to make a hole in the fence. And it's going to be trampled on. So this, by the way, is a double language, which means the same thing. The Navi does that a lot of times. Haser mesukato, I'm going to get rid of the fence. The animal's going to eat it. Parotz gidro, I'm going to make a hole in the fence, and it's going to be trampled on. It's a very similar concept, but it says it twice in the pasuk. Va'ashiteu bata lo yizamer v'lo ya'ader v'ala shamir v'shayit v'ala navim etzaveh avayim, atzaveh nehamtir alav matar. Here we see that it's God talking. Till here, we couldn't really tell who the mashal was trying to pretend to be. You know what a nimshal is, right? When you have a parable, what's the real life case of the parable? Right? So if I tell you that you do something that's not so honest, and I tell you it's just like lying to someone. So I'm using a mashal to tell you how you're being dishonest. I'm talking about your case, but the mashal is much stronger sometimes than what I'm trying to do. So here he's saying, Va'ashiteu bata, it says here, Rashi says, what's bata? I'm going to leave it shmama, I'm going to leave it desolate, I'm going to leave it alone. V'lo ya'ader, I'm not going to dig there, I'm not going to fix the soil, I'm not working on this anymore. But what's going to happen? Ve'ala shamir v'shit. And what's going to happen is what's going to come up is garbage. What's going to come up, if I don't take care of this field, thorns are going to come in, kotzim, it says, and other kinds of maybe worms, tolat, Rashi says. Different worms are going to come in and eat the fruits. It's going to be really, what's the word? Muznach. It's going to be ignored, the field, and it's going to be a problem. But then he says one more thing, which, like I told you, gives us a hint that it's God actually talking. Ve'al ha'avim etzaveh, and I'm going to command to the clouds, mehamtir alav. I'm going to command to the clouds, don't make rain. But there's only one being in the world who can command to the clouds not to make rain. So until this pasuk, we really don't know what's Hashem talking. But now we have a hint, and that's why in pasuk Zayin he lets it all out. Ki kerem Hashem tzvakot Beit Yisrael. The Ish Yehudi Natasha Ashua. Because the kerem of Hashem is Bnei Yisrael, is the house of Israel, is Beit Yisrael. The Ish Yehuda, and every Jew is his beloved plant. Natasha Ashua. You know that when a farmer plants, he's like has a relationship. Just like a person has a relationship with his pet, a farmer has a relationship with his field. He puts work into his field. Sha'ashua means like what he plays with, what he his friend almost. Play on words. These words sound very similar. God hoped not for, what does it say? Anavim. Vayikav la'asot anavim. Vayaz be'ushim. Here's the nimshal. Hashem hoped that Bnei Yisrael would act like just people, like fair people, like people who care about other people. And what did he get? He got mispach. What is mispach? It sounds a little bit like the word mishpat, but it means something else. Rashi says mispach, pasuk asifat chet, he says. All I got was a bunch of criminals. I wanted justice. I got a bunch of people who don't care about justice. Okay? Going on. You sure? I don't think so. The pause thing is not stuff. Litzdaka, I hoped for tzedakah, for people to help each other, for people to either give tzedakah, but the word tzedakah in Tanakh also means justice. It means people caring about people less than them, people who don't have money like them, people who don't have a house like them. Both times he used a word that sounds similar, but is so different. I wanted people to feel justly, treated. Like, say, poor people. What did I get? I got people screaming up to me, God says. All the poor people, these rich people, they're so mean to me. The judges, they're not judging me properly. I wanted mishpat. I got mispach. I got a bunch of criminals. I wanted tzedakah. I wanted people to help people. All I got was a bunch of people who were acted upon, who were mistreated. That's the first half. The end of this parakeh has a bunch of hoys. Hoy is like the Navi saying, "Oh my God, ay," right? Crying out. So let's see what happens.
How many times did he say? Because I know that he asked. He said that.
Hoy, oh my gosh, magi'ei bayit bevayit. Those who meet one house with another, sadeh b'sadeh, and then they put their field next to another field. Meaning, I have a field here. What?
They destroy their fields, like the gardens, and they put the houses together.
Not so much. I have my field here. My neighbor has his field over here, and there's empty space here. Now, normally if there's empty space, and no one owns it, then let the poor people take it. Why do I need to take it? I have hundreds of acres of land. I need this extra acre. Let a poor person take it. But they don't do that. They say, well, if I have a field here, and I have a field here, let's meet him up. I'm going to take over this field. So they're taking over things. Ad efes makom, leaving no space. V'ushavtem levadchem v'kerev haaretz, and all that's going to be is you guys, the rich guys, in the field, going back in Israel on fields, going back to the fact that they only care about themselves, the rich people, right? Be'oznei Hashem tzvakot im lo batim rabim l'shama yiyu gedolim v'tovim me'en yoshevu. But Hashem says, I'm making a shvuah. I'm going to promise you something. This behavior is going to make nobody live in this world. If you don't let the poor people have land, then no one's going to live here. Me'ein Yoshev, Israel is going to be empty and desolate from Jews. Right? There won't be many houses. It's all going to be Shama. Shama means desolate. It'll be big, be a lot of stuff. Gedolim v'tovim, but Me'ein Yoshev. No one's going to be here. Ki aseret tzimdei kerem ya'asu batachat. Zerach omer yaseh efa, which means that they're going to have so much, but nothing's going to come of it. They're going to have potential to have a lot of money, but there's not going to be enough of it.